Hello guys, Mess Graphics here. Hope you all had an awesome day. Today, I'll be showing you how to create a 3D pop-out photo effect using Photoshop CC21. And we'll be using this effect to create a unique sports ad banner. So, if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified each time I drop a new video. Links to the files and the fonts I'll be using in this project will be found in the description below. So guys, let's get started. So guys, let's proceed with the project. Based on this project being for social media, I'll be using 2000 by 2000 pixels, a 300 resolution. I'll be using the RGB color format, but I'll leave the remaining values as it is. And I'll click on create. So we have my workspace here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this background to a layer. I'll leave it at white. Okay. So I'll right click, blending options, and I'll go to gradient overlay. I'll be using a default gradient overlay that is found in Photoshop CC21. It just comprises of a darker shade of blue and a lighter shade of blue. Okay. Then I'll place the element that I'm using for this design. This is an iPhone. And like I said initially at the beginning of the video, I'll be dropping all the links to the files and to the fonts that I'll be using for this project in the description. Okay, let me place this. Then I'll zoom in. Okay. I'll select the pen tool from my toolbar. You can also select this by hitting P on your keyboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new part. I'll select different parts close to the edges of the screen. So when you're doing this, you have to maintain a percent level of accuracy when you are doing this, because this actually defines the way your design will be looking like. So we create a selection, we make a selection from the part that we've created. Then we'll hit Ctrl J. What this does is that it creates a new layer from the selection you've made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this a little bit, because I noticed that the part that I created wasn't aligned to the screen. So I'm just increasing this a little bit. Okay, so I'll zoom out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the second element that I'll be using for this design. This is the image of a sports superstar, Mbappe. Okay. So I decided to use an image of Mbappe in his classic kneeling celebration. Okay, I think I moved on too early. So let me go back and explain what I want to achieve right now. So I'll take this above the layers and I'll create a clipping mark. So I'm trying to use this to know how the image will look when I create a clipping mark to the phone. So I'm trying to make it in a way that the picture has enough room in the screen. I want both legs of the element that I'm using here to be seen very well in the screen. So I'm trying to make sure that there's enough room around the leg area, because it will really help me to maintain 100% realism. So I think I'm okay with this. What I need to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer, Ctrl T, and I'll flip it vertically. Why I'm doing this is I'm trying to fill out the excess space that you can notice at the screen here. So flip horizontally. Then I use the green part of the field to block out the space, the excess space. Okay. As you can see, you wouldn't even notice that these two images were joined together. It's so blended with the background, and I love how it's blended so well. So what I'll do is I'll select these two layers and I'll hit Ctrl E. That's rasterize layer. Then I'll take it down and I'll create a clipping mask to the phone. Then I'll hit Ctrl and hit the first layer here. And then I'll create a mask. So as you can see, this is really sitting well in the screen. What I'll do is that I'll duplicate this by hitting Ctrl J on my system. I'm using Windows, by the way. Then I'll use my pen tool again to create parts around Mbappe. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove Mbappe from the beach. So I'll be using my pen tool to select only Mbappe. So guys, so far I hope you guys are enjoying this video. So I'll be fast forwarding it to the part where I'll be done selecting the parts around Mbappe. So guys, see you on the other side. So guys, welcome to the second part of this tutorial. So once I'm done selecting, I'll zoom out. And then because I'm not actually using the whole image, I'll just be selecting the parts that are outside the area that is already clicked in the form. So I'll right click, make a selection, and I'll create a layer mask. And as you can see, this is already looking nice. I think so far I'm really happy with what we've achieved at this point. So to an extent, this is already looking realistic. So guys, the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning this to a sports ad. But first of all, I'll be adding some edits using Camera Raw to these images. So let's head over to Camera Raw and add some effects to these images. I'll increase the vibrance a little bit. Then I'll go to my presets and increase the sharpening. Okay. Then I'll apply the same effect to the second image. Okay. Okay. Then I'll select this and I'll group it together. So guys, what I'm going to be doing next is that I'm going to be using this to create a sports ad banner, like I said before. So initially, I just wanted to do this tutorial as a pop-out photo effect, but I decided to add some twist to it by using it to create a sports ad banner. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm adding text to this design. So for the first text layer, I'll be using orthography. The link to the font will be in my description. Then for the rest of the font, I'll be using SQL Sans. So I'll change the typeface. I need something a little bit bold. Then I'll reduce the tracking to -75. Okay, made the wrong selection there. Okay, so I'll be adding my third text layer just by duplicating the former layer, and I'll change this to sports. So with that, you have watch your favorite sports. So I'll be adding the sub heading. On sportsmobile.ng. Don't go googling this app or don't go to Play Store looking for this app. Like I've always mentioned in this channel, all the works that I do in these channels are imaginary works. Like I have an agreement with my clients where I don't use their main work to create tutorial videos. So any project you see me doing on this channel are always imaginary projects. So don't just think that all these things exist. There's no app such as sportsmobile.ng. So it's just a creation that will enable me add some twist to this video or to this tutorial. Okay. So as you can see, this text is already looking nice right here. Okay, I'm done with the test for explaining what the app is all about. Watch your favorite sports on sportsmobile.ng. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be adding the social media handles for the app. That's on Facebook and on Instagram. Okay, let me just type that in. So guys, if you are enjoying this video so far, do not forget to hit the like button, and also feel free to ask questions in the comment section. I'm always open to your questions. I'm always open to your feedbacks. So hit the like button and drop a comment in the comment section. Okay. So I'll be adding the icons. That's the Facebook and the Instagram icon. So many people ask me where I get my resources from for my design projects, and I get my resources from different sources online. I get my PNG images from PNG Tree. Sometimes I get it from pngimage.com, and sometimes I get it from imgbin.com. So I have different places I get my work files from. Sometimes I can get it from Getty Images, that's for backgrounds. Then freepik.com is also a good place to get your design resources. It ranges from background, illustrations, icons, fonts, and text effects. But that's not all. There are many sites that you can download your design resources. There are many sites, there are many places you can download it from. So I'll just place this appropriately here. Okay. Okay, since I'm done with this, I'll delete this layer. Okay. So always remember to group your different layers, as this will help you create. Okay, I knew that I would actually change that color back, but because it was looking a little bit off, so I think changing it to white has worked for me. So like I was saying before, always try your best to group your layers, as this will help you to access different layers individually without having to find your layer where it is, or having to go through the different layers to find where a different layer you are looking for is. So when you group like elements together, it helps you to find them easily when you want to look for them. For example, I'm creating a group of watch favorite spots on spots.ng. So anytime I'm looking for something that has to be found in that group, I just have to go to the group and find it there. So that's why I always like to group my layers. But I won't lie, as a graphic designer, I don't always group my layers. Sometimes I love to leave them scattered. Sometimes I love to group them. Just like sometimes I love naming my layer, and sometimes I don't like naming them. I just hit anything on my keyboard and that is it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to add a glowing effect to this text. As you can see, you've seen me doing that many times in almost all my tutorials. So I learned this from one of my friends that is also a designer, and since I learned it, I've not actually stopped using it. Like, I don't know. I hate my text being just plain. So I always try to add something that will make it look unique. So let's start placing the icon forget it on Google Play. So I'll be adding this icon below the lower right part of this design. And then I'll be adding this overlay. Okay, this is actually an image, but I'm using it as an overlay. And like I said before, mastering your blending option, mastering your blend modes. I always misinterpret these two words. Mastering your blending mode can help you create awesome backgrounds. Like, I don't just leave my background as plain like that. I can use any image to create an overlay using the blending mode. You have overlay blending mode, you have multiply, you have color bond, you have different blending modes. So mastering all these blending modes can help you create a unique background anytime you want to design any project. As you can see, I'm navigating the blending modes, looking for a better one to use. Okay. Gaussian blur. And I increase the intensity a little bit. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the logo for the app. Okay. So I'm not really going into that extent for creating the logo. I just wanted to create something simple because I was feeling like the upper part was a little bit empty. So I'm not just trying to create this because of I'm trying to make it look aesthetic or I'm trying to make it look nice. I'm just trying to create this to just fill up the up part. So let me see how that works or how that ends. Okay, nothing special here, just a normal font. Then I'll be using loose tracking for this one right here. So if you've not seen my teaching on the different types of tracking, if you've not seen that teaching, I had a class where I handled that on Telegram. So if you've not seen that teaching, or if you want me to send it to you or refer you to the teaching once again, just use the link up there in my channel link to find one of my social media handles. You can message me so that I'll send you a link that you can access that class that we had on tracking, on alignment, on font management, and on alignment. So this will help you understand these terms that I'm using. Tracking, this just has to do with the space in between different letters in your text. Then you have the loose tracking and you have the close tracking. Okay. So I just have to go further and change everything to white. Okay, so far this is looking nice, but I feel like we are not there yet. For now, I feel like we are not there yet. I feel like there is something we need to add to this, because I don't really catch the vibe with this. So I'll be adding another background to it. So this is the background of a stadium. I'll be adding it to it to get that look that I really want. So I'll expand this. And then I'll go back to my blending modes. Please, I'm not sure I'm calling that right. I call it blending mode, but I'm not sure I'm calling that right. So if I'm not calling that right, you can correct me on the comment section, because I don't know, that doesn't sound right to me anytime I say blending mode. So this is what it's looking like now. I feel it's better now. But if you love the previous one, you can mention in the comment section the one that you prefer, A or B. So guys, this is it for today. Thank you guys for staying to this point in this video. Remember, if you are new to this channel, remember to subscribe. If you're already